it's gone, till it's gone. What are you supposed to do when the thrill is gone? Do anybody know? Do you keep fighting or just let it go? Just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. Now I really can't explain any of the pain that I put your heart through. So just know that I really can't explain any of the pain that I felt when you said we're through. And I'm feeling wrong, and I guess you just feeling that the thrill is gone. And I'm trying to hold on, not feeling strong. Trying to figure out where have your feelings gone. Cause to me, I don't feel it's gone. I think you buried them inside. Afraid cause I can make you laugh and make you cry. Bad combination, it could have been avoided with one conversation. But we can still make it if you realize what you got before this day is gone. I just hope you don't feel that the thrill is gone ever. Baby, cause I never will. If when it come to you, that's something that I'll never feel. Sometimes we don't do right when we know it's wrong. And the only explanation is the thrill is gone. Thrill is gone, thrill is gone, thrill is gone, thrill is gone. What are you supposed to do when the thrill is gone? Do anybody know? Do you keep fighting or just let it go? Just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. Life is overrated. And sometimes the fight is overrated. With time, I'm gonna hate it. No sleep, eyes always red, eye, head high. I'm stressed out, y'all. Listen up, here's why. Funerals expensive, can't afford the pass. The spit fire problem is I can't afford the gas. I'm not insured, so I can't afford the crash. I'm always mad, cause I can't afford the laugh. And I'm not suicidal. But this society is the complete opposite of the Bible. God gave me talent, so I want the title. But said give it all up and I'll be biased. Living with demons, trying to be an angel. It gets more fierce when them demons rockin' hazels. So Satan, I ain't choosing your side. I wanna be a prophet, not an angel in disguise. Sometimes we don't do right when we know it's wrong. And the only explanation is the thrill is gone. Thrill is gone, thrill is gone. What are you supposed to do when the thrill is gone? Do anybody know? Do you keep fighting or just let it go? Just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. I walk by the shadow cause I heard death by the valley. Now I'm a lost angel, lesson not from Cali. Get it a nigga trying not to sin again. Poverty gets tenements, no fucking Benjamins or benefits. I'm a working man, damn I hate working man. 9 to 5 ain't working man, but I have to cause ain't shit certain man. Guess the nigga just a prisoner of circumstance. Sometimes I be thinking life ain't worth it man. Some niggas around me, some of them is worthless man. Shit happens for a reason, it's a purpose man. We live in the hell so ain't shit perfect man. But I try to perfect anything that's less than perfect so I can affect my future, bringing us to success. Yes. So I guess music's like sex, and if your partner's is whack, then why the hell would you give it your all? They say the higher they get, the harder they fall. But they ain't Chris Brown, they forgot how to crawl. Always want the ball, but got no fundamentals. Thinking that they hot because of street credentials. How the fuck you suck, but you got success. Music's like sex, kinda dry, I ain't bust yet. Losing my passion for rapping, cause everything around me seems stagnant. Tired of the whack shit, then I hear some new shit, I end up grasping. And me and rapper getting joined together like magnets. A two-person portrait. On tracks I plant seeds like orchid, but these niggas know it. Old and washed up, so they grilled like foremen. Thinking they LeBron James, they never cause I'm Jordan. Sometimes we don't do right when we know it's wrong. And the only explanation is the thrill is gone. Thrill is gone, thrill is gone, thrill is gone, thrill is gone. What are you supposed to do when the thrill is gone? Do anybody know? Do you keep fighting or just let it go? Just let it go, just let it go, just let it go. Now I really can't explain any of the pain that I put your heart through. So just
shout out to all my barbers and stylists with beards and Baldheads. Got the flyers guy to the left of me. True Live. That music that you was hearing just now. That's him right there. That's that guy right there. The thrill is gone. Dropping that heat. That's what we needed tonight, T. Mr. Aggie Pride himself. They missed you last week, D.
Word.
They definitely did.
We back.
Cousin D in the building.
You know we got the me at? Did we touch on that?
I remember you said something about that before.
Still upset.
It feels like it's touching you in some type of way.
We'll be alright.
Y'all, it don't feel right.
Don't mess with G though.
Don't mess with G. still G. That means y'all are bigger. That means more money's coming to the school. HBCU not in the MEAC or the...
I mean, they're not the first though. Howard left last year too.
Okay. I ain't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. It's only Howard.
I mean, shout out to all my Howard people. I love y'all. Y'all know I'm unofficial alumni. Shout out to my guest last week, Chris Luck. Shout out to him. You know, I got T in the building, holding it down on the IG Live.
Go ahead, flip it.
Say, nah, you're not gonna see that face right there. And she's gonna be on the mic too. Barry's gonna be coming through soon, the Soul Survivor. Man, it's a lot of things that we want to talk about. One thing we ain't really touched too much was Black history. We ain't talk about it too much, but a lot of history hasn't been told. We're going to touch a few topics tonight. And first things first, present history, whatever, I don't know the best way to put it. Kobe. It's hard to talk about because we lived through it. We grew up with him. And one of the greatest to do it. That is burial today?
No, it was just a memorial service.
What was that today?
It was a memorial service at the Staples Center.
Okay.
They had a private burial service, last week, I think sometime, maybe the week before.
Okay.
But this was just a memorial service they had for everybody, fans, friends, family. I don't know how much tickets were, but...
Was somebody scalping outside?
$224.
$224.
Are you serious? $224 to get in.
Yeah.
What did they sell it on? What did they sell his tickets to get on?
StubHub.
I don't know.
It was a probably until it was sold out. They probably held a certain amount for the players and stuff that wanted to come because obviously they probably didn't pay, but they had general admission up there. Nosebleed areas probably for regular fans and stuff. So those were probably
to salute to give Kobe his proper salute.
Yeah, man.
They had 220.
There's a lot of Lakers jerseys in there. A lot of purple and gold.
Man, that's tough right there.
It's very touching.
Very touching. Very touching. That Mamba mentality. We're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna live by that. I got the Soul Survivor in the building. Come through, B. Word up, there he is. Waiting for you. Waiting for you. Word up.
Daddy duty.
Shout out to Sade.
Sade.
We're
on the way to Miami Beach, spring break. Oh, I got a 20-year-old going to Miami Beach. I feel the type of way about that.
We're going to talk about fatherhood. We're gonna talk about stuff like that.
Live your life.
Man. It's messing me up right now. Yo.
It's messing me up.
It's messing me up. Let's get to something but along with the sports, y'all watched that boxing match this weekend?
Saw it.
Yes, sir.
Caught some of it. Yeah.
I caught nothing.
I saw all of it.
Y'all saw all of it. Who are the boxers? Y'all know I don't be knowing no names.
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Tyson, by the way, named after Mike Tyson.
Is he that young?
Yeah, that's what he said his father did.
Named him after Tyson.
Yeah.
I saw the last fight I actually saw.
That's a boxing name, though.
That is a boxing name. We're going to talk about Tyson in a few other boxes, too. The last time I saw this fight, last time I saw a fight was this fight, the first one. Mm-hmm. And made me a little uncomfortable, like with a lot of the hugging with the first fight.
He was tapping him up in the first fight, too.
He was definitely tapping him up.
Dropped a couple times.
He definitely did. It was
without the knockout, he wins the first fight.
Yeah, without getting knocked
absolutely.
down
Take the knockdown, I should say.
He's a better boxer.
Without the knockdown, he was winning the fight when they got knocked down.
Fury's a better boxer.
Way better. Not even close.
The internet never loses, and those stills that they catch, man. Man, I didn't put the Martin one up, but I put this one up right here.
That's some nasty shit.
I seen it when it happened. I said, yo.
This nigga's a freak.
What is he doing?
Licking on his neck.
The blood. Stinking the blood off.
Like, lick his shoulder or something. Don't lick his neck.
Stone Cold Free?
Stone Cold Free. Don't matter.
Yo, he Stone Cold sunned him.
Did he actually lick him?
Yes, he
licked
did.
him.
Yes,
he
but
did.
he licked.
That's some-
Yeah, I
that's
saw it
some-
real time.
That's
He
some
was
Edomite
licking that
shit.
man, like taunting them to the highest degree, as my mom would say.
What do you-
degree?
The degree.
I don't even know what mean,
in
but
biblical terms, that's some Edomite Esau shit.
Mike Tyson bit people's ears off.
Brady, what up?
well,
He wasn't licking people's blood.
Well, you know Mike Tyson.
He ate it,
You
though.
know Mike Tyson is a
I know,
little
he
different.
he bit and spit.
Definitely got something in
Mike
there.
Tyson is different because
Yeah,
he
he bit
said
and
some
spit.
things.
Shout out to everybody on the check and please chime in.
This nigga enjoyed that.
He enjoyed.
That's the point. Like Mike, I don't think Mike Tyson enjoyed his ear.
I don't know, Mike different.
Mike
That-
is
that
I'm the biggest Mike Tyson fan I know. But Mike crazy, man.
Mike is
told that man he
definitely
would eat his
crazy.
kids.
Yo, Mike, we're gonna talk about Mike. We definitely will, and we're gonna talk about boxing. I compare this. I study boxers all the time, especially their interviews, and from I really watch Ali a lot, and I watch a lot of Mike Tyson, and we're gonna talk about some of the hype that they build.
For Dante though, I've never seen a fighter struggle for that many rounds.
How bad it was? How many rounds did they go?
7, but he struggled for like 5 of them. So I give him credit because he was done in the second round.
That weight was just too much for
He
him.
was done in the second round.
Who's
For him to
weight?
make it to 7, I don't know how he did.
Wilder put on some weight, and then Fury just weighed like 40, 50 pounds.
Yeah, but how much weight did he put on? Because the first fight, he was like, they said he weighed like
250.
212.
Oh no,
He's like
Wilder.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah,
like
Wilder was
231.
212.
This
the first
fight?
fight.
231 this fight.
31?
Yeah, he put on 15, 16
Still
pounds.
wasn't enough. I think I felt it when I saw his ear bleeding. I was like, he either
Oh, yeah.
ruptured
Shout out
his
to
eardrum,
Tara on the
Definitely
check
busted
in.
his
What's up,
he
baby?
either busted his eardrum or
He-
something, which you know
yeah.
can affect
His
your
equilibrium.
equilibrium.
But they
so,
said
That's
he
exactly what I was thinking.
for
they
the fact
got-
that he didn't go to
equal-
the
y'all
doctor.
both-
I
You
don't know
split
if
that
that
between
We
happened.
both said
Yeah.
that.
Yo,
That's
Barry, they
what
both
that-
get points for
What's that?
equilibrium. Hitting them in the ear, split state
Well,
equilibrium.
they would that
You almost
they're
called him in
cheating
the
because that
Abdullah
word
Oblongata
was
on
that
first
word was said all
knockdown.
night.
TJ,
Oh, yeah,
he
hit
hit it right in the Abdullah Oblongata.
He can listen to Keith Murray. I had the same single.
Yeah.
Nah, y'all both get
Nah,
points.
kinda
right
hit him
there.
that's
with
Bobby
sneak one.
Boucher.
Oh, but this right here, when it comes to the internet never losing, I've been seeing a lot of this. If whatever this emoji was a person, look at his lip.
Yo. Totally. I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm totally shocked, but it was shocking.
I'm not totally shocked, no.
I'm not totally shocked, but it was shocking.
Definitely.
I thought he could at least get that right out. He couldn't get it out at all.
It's T as a woman. As a woman, you know that's what they start off with when they want to drop in another woman's DM. As a woman, if your man, I'm sorry about that. If your man was getting licked like that after the fight, what are you gonna say to him?
Did you
Oh.
like it?
That was during the fight.
Did you?
Did you like it?
That's
Did you like it? I
Yuck.
need to
That
know.
was why he was
Did you
whipping his
like
ass.
it?
He did that to him.
That is terrible right there.
How did he respond though? Like
How
did
could he
react
after
to
that?
He got
He was getting
knocked
his
the
ass
fuck
whooped.
out.
He was getting
That's
his
how he
ass whooped.
responded.
He was in the days for
He
about
responded. He got
18
knocked out.
minutes in there.
But something was wrong with him. He couldn't get right. He couldn't. He was wobbling for like 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
He was wobbling for 5 rounds.
That
Something
ear-
was wrong.
that
The eardrum
Yeah,
and
that
them just
ear.
leaning on him with all his weight.
You gotta think. Imagine we fight, and I'm, you know.
I mean, I
leaning
know.
on you,
Don't get me
like,
wrong.
that's-
I'm a boxing enthusiast.
But then
I
he was
love
catching them with
boxing.
combos though. Like he was, you know,
But you,
he
I-
was.
I've-
He wasn't. He's not a calculated boxer.
But I couldn't
So
understand.
he comes with a lot of movements, a lot of hand gestures, and he was catching with a couple of stuff where Waller was expecting something, but he was getting hit with 2 other things.
I never saw the desperation punch that I was looking for. I never saw it from Dante. I never saw the desperation. I'm gonna try to knock you out. Punch. It never came.
He was tired. He looked
That's when
tired,
I
too.
knew it was something seriously wrong with him, because even when you're desperate, you're gonna try to throw.
Well, he was
that
trying. He just
haymaker.
could. He was trying. He
He-
couldn't.
he
He didn't.
trying. He was
He didn't
tired.
have it
No. He never threw it.
because he couldn't. What I'm saying
No,
is, he
I don't believe
know,
that.
Did you see
What-
him? You
I
said
don't
it
believe you
yourself.
can't.
He didn't have no legs.
It's
His limbs was just.
You throw that punch and say, you know what? I'm gonna throw this punch and I might get knocked out. I'm gonna throw it though. He never even tried to throw it. He couldn't. Like you said, he couldn't. That let me know he was been done.
and-
So
and
he may not ever recover. He might be done. His career is over.
it's funny. So when we talk
You
about
gonna do
boxing,
like a pit bull. Like, people
think his
come back
career
from-
is over.
People come back from losses.
some people do. And
How many?
A lot.
y'all
Anders lost before.
Lost was like
Lennox
this?
Lewis has lost before.
No, not like this.
Mike Tyson has lost.
Boom.
Not like this.
So let me get to that. Y'all propose
Not like
a great
this.
point. When people I watch out and watch the interviews, Mike Tyson, I watch Ali. One of the great things about Tyson is the fact how he came back after losses.
But
Same way.
we knew why he was losing.
And the thing is with this other dude, was it Wilder who lost Tyson? We don't care about him. We don't care about him, and we're not invested with these boxers as much. Only boxer that we're really invested in is probably Floyd at one point.
That was the
If you
last
like
one.
That was the last one,
Yeah, that was the last one.
as far as the people.
Mhm.
And Tyson would always talk about, if you're not disciplined, this is what can happen to you. I was watching him talking about after he fought was it Buster Douglas. And the night before he fought Buster Douglas, he with prostitutes, he's smoking blunts, he's not on his D, and he was the best.
Didn't train at all.
He didn't train at all.
Nope.
Didn't train at all. That's what makes boxing to me so interesting, because it doesn't matter who you're going against. If you are not your best, you're going to get touched.
But I'm gonna say this: he did knock him out.
Who?
Buster Douglas.
He did knock him out.
He did.
He
Mike
did.
Tyson did knock Buster Douglas.
He
out.
just wasn't afraid.
But
he
when you
never
got a
saw somebody
20
not
count,
afraid.
these things help. But I
these things
I
help.
digress.
It was a
Nah,
20
nah,
count?
absolutely.
It was a 20 count?
Nah,
Man,
it was
listen.
a little shaky. It was a little
That's
shaky.
been well documented
It
that
was a
that
little
count
shaky.
was long.
But even at the same time, it wasn't supposed to get that far.
Right, but that go to show you the power. That's what I mean when Mike Tyson, that was a desperation punch on Buster Douglas.
No doubt.
He was getting his ass whooped, and he threw the hook out of desperation, and Buster Douglas went down.
And he went down.
And everybody, and then the controversy began. But I thought Wilder was gonna have that one desperation punch.
Everyone
he never threw it.
Everyone doesn't have
He
that
had it in
will.
the first fight, so I think Tyson Fury was definitely watching out for that too. I don't think
Well,
he would have caught him
I
with
don't
it.
think Wilder studied shit.
I don't think he would have caught him with it. Not Wilder, yeah, but Fury was looking out for it because that's how
Yeah,
he
I know. I'm
dropped
just
him
saying.
in the first fight.
That's
so,
what I'm saying. I don't think Wilder studied because it was no adjustment.
No,
And Fury clearly adjusted.
I mean he's gotten by on his 42 wins by just 41 wins by pummeling people and.
By what?
He-
Well, I will say this though. I heard he started boxing at 19.
He started late.
Yeah, so I
So,
mean,
the-
what
the
can you say though? He's
mechanics-
had 40
But you got
fights,
power
41
like
fights.
that.
You should learn something in 41 fights,
Yeah.
TJ.
He ain't
No,
learned
I
nothing.
agree, but I'm just saying like a lot of those mechanics and stuff like that are learned
It's crazy
young.
because he asked for Fury. you get what you asked for.
Some people with boxing.
Well, Fury wanted him too. I saw. Some
I'm just
old
saying he
tweets.
brought Fury out of retirement.
Well, part 3, that's
we got a
Well,
call
part
coming
3
in,
is
and
set up,
I'm worried
so-
about when you get these
It
callers.
shouldn't be no part.
Beards and ball heads.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Who's calling?
This is Will from New York City, man. What's going on?
This is my man Will. It's my man Costco. LIU's finest. Costco.
Hey, how you doing, man?
First of all, I want you to plug in your show.
All right. Well, check me anytime on YouTube at 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge. You can also check me on the web at 300poundsofsportsknowledge.com and also on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365 and on Twitter at 300 Pounds of Sports.
It sounds like you want to chime in. This is my good brother from
Yeah, I
LIU
got a
right
Sounds
here.
like you weigh 300 pounds.
I got a question for him too. Go ahead.
Well, my thing is, man, I picked Fury to win this fight.
Did you win some money?
And the thing was, is like, to me, I think Fury made the adjustments when he got dropped in the last
In the
round
first round, yeah.
of the first fight, because like I felt like this dude said, okay, you know what, I can handle his strength, and you could see like Fury really, really trained for this fight, man. And I've been saying it for the longest time. No disrespect to Deontay Wilder, but he's relied so much on that power punch. And, you could see that he just lacked the footwork as far as, like, the boxing skills went. And I always said, what would happen if he got in there with a more skilled fighter? You saw him against Luis Ortiz struggle a few years ago until he finally knocked him out. And then, coming in there with Fury this time and then, like the first time and then the second time. And I'm like, Fury, to me, was hungry. And, boxing is one of those things. It's always a hungry man's sport. Fury, to me, he feels that he never lost his belt. He got him taken away, with his discrepancies. And now this dude is just like, okay, you know what? I can like the first time around, he figured, okay, I can hang with this dude. Now, he came for it. Like the gentleman said, Fury didn't. Wilder really didn't make any adjustments from the first fight, and you could see that the fact that Fury just came like with a different mindset altogether really threw Wilder off balance. And now, to me, I think like they're going to have a rematch because like Wilder has the opportunity to exercise that clause. I just think it's one of those. I don't see. I really don't see how many adjustments that Wilder can make between now and the third fight with Fury.
Well, I got a question.
Other than gaining another 50 pounds.
I got a question. Shout out to my man Shaheed Muhammad on the check-in. He says you got to go into every fight discipline and focus. It's any game at any moment of the match. Do you feel like, I guess the guy who lost Wilder, that he lacked the focus?
I think he did. You figure the former middleweight champion of the world, Marvin Hagler, said it best. It's tough to get up in the morning and take that 10-mile jog when you're getting out of bed and you got on satin pajamas. And, boxing's a hungry man's sport, man. And you figure, you're 42-0. Everybody's telling you how good you are, this, that, and the third. Don't get me wrong. The guy that he fought was undefeated, and it was a close fight the first time around, which should give you hunger enough to go out there and say, you know what, listen, let's make the adjustments. However, just to agree like the gentleman said before, I really don't know if Deontay Wilder's a real student of the game like that.
No doubt.
And that's and to me, I think that's the biggest thing. We see it all the time in sports. Guys got to consistently adjust, to keep up, with the top people, in their craft. And Deontay, he didn't do that. Fury, this guy dropped his trainer and started rocking with the Kronk Gym out of Detroit. And anybody who knows boxing, man, the Kronk Gym, which was run by Emmanuel Stewart at one time. They, like if you're gonna train there, you better bring it. So Fury was
shout
ready.
out to everybody on the check-in.
He did all the necessary adjustments. They can have a third fight. I'm sure they'll make money. I don't see a different outcome for Wilder as far as getting the title back. I think for Fury, he's on a mission because he wants to get those other belts from Anthony Joshua. And, they might try to hype that up because, you got two, Englishmen that would then, fight for the belts. But Deontay lost, man.
No doubt. No doubt.
Fury was the better guy.
No doubt.
I have a
Costco, but real quick before.
The quick question I have for him is that, okay, we talked about focus before. Now, we're going to put all the focus that has on Wilder. Like, what about his corner? Because I look at a guy like Floyd Mayweather who had buku bucks and went into every fight focus. I can't just put that all on the fighter. That's what he got a corner for. And to me, it seems like Wilder corner didn't live up to the hype at all.
The thing is, it's like there is some truth to that. But to me, I think a lot of, like, some of it still, comes down to the fighters. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you look, like you were talking about Mike Tyson a couple of minutes ago. And, when he was on top of his game, he had Kevin Rooney in his corner. And then you make those adjustments and you get the yes men who are just around there to tell you how good you are. And we've seen it with other fighters too. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you need that guy.
There you go. You're making my point for me.
Who's going to stay on top of you? Like, you know what? This is what you got to do. And I really don't think that Wilder had that.
Nope.
And like a guy, you figure, like, getting back to Floyd.
Before we get on that, Costco, because I'm going to take that. I'm going to go. Thank you for the call, and thank you for that right there, making those points. And we're going to get back to it, because I don't want to get Wilder all the love tonight. You lost.
I'm just saying.
Now, you make a
corner.
you made a great point, and that's what I want to get to at the same time, B. Costco, one more time, how they can check you, and thank you for the shout out, for the call in.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I appreciate the time, man. Like I said, check me out on YouTube, 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge, Twitter, 300 Pounds of Sports. You can also check me at 300poundsofsportsknowledge.com, and also on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365.
Appreciate that, man. We're gonna get back to it. Thank you. Now, but you make a great point that I don't want to get off of. Sometimes you could blame it on your corner. Sometimes it could be the corner's fault. Sometimes
the team. People look at boxing like it's an individual sport, but it's really not.
It definitely is a team. It definitely is a team. But at the same time, sometimes you have to have that will within yourself.
You have to be disciplined.
And you have to have that discipline.
I mean, you're not the champion
yourself.
in the world if you're not disciplined. That's
So-
just to start that.
And know what? It's not the fact of being the champion. How long can you be the champion? That's the
You know,
part.
in the heavyweight division.
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
last that
yeah.
long.
Not nowadays, and I think that's why we respect Tyson so much.
Don't
That's
last
why we
that
respect Ali so much. Is because how long they
Yeah,
kept it.
we know
at the
heavyweight
time.
switch. That's
How long they
different.
kept it at the time.
It's a
So
different
so
animal.
that's definitely
Yeah.
a part right there. A few things before we get into our major parts. I want to get to a little bit of things when it comes to truth behind Black history. Everybody can't handle the truth. Truth is subjective. Whew.
I've been watching a lot of truth
It,
lately.
they always talk about if the truth sets you free.
No, it don't.
Sometimes it don't set you free.
No.
And sometimes the truth is not always told. Like the truth right here. Let's get to it. I haven't been able to say. I got this from T. The truth with my man Mickey right here. Would we have been accepting Mickey for all these years if we knew he was bald? T, what you think? Nah.
I don't know. He's so cute.
He still look cute.
So he still look cute. He still look cute. I don't know, man. We're gonna talk about other things with Black history before we get to it, like some truth that we didn't know, like where tea came from when they spilling the tea, like this right here. Shout out to my girl Pearl. Y'all watch 227.
Pearl stayed in that window. Didn't
Stayed in that window right there. Pearl Shade, the first black woman with the
Stayed in
tea.
that window.
Black History Month. We just dropped
They
some
just don't
facts.
make shows like they used to.
We just dropping some facts for y'all right there. This right here. If bubblegum is a dish, this will be that person.
He got
Black history
he
right
got,
here.
he got beads in his head.
Is this a he or a she?
I think it's a girl.
I think
It's
this is a girl.
It's a girl.
This
Look
is
like the older brat or something.
looks like the older brat right there.
Got beads in there.
Black history, black future. If he is the coach of the Knicks or the Cavs, will he bring them back? Coach Carter.
Nah, he can't.
No,
save
they
the
make
Knicks.
because they make money, so you can't.
He couldn't do it?
Nah, you can't coach. It's hard to coach guys that make more money than you.
I don't know.
That's why NBA coaches having such a hard time these days.
Black history, people that we don't give their props to.
But you know what? That's crazy.
This
because
right here.
He is Black history. Not him, but Coach Carter.
You got that for me, D?
These two been together as long as I can remember. Hashtag Black Love.
Do we give them the love that they deserve for being together? Soup, you got 28 years, 31 years. You don't have over this sign right here.
No, because we assumed they were white people.
That's black love. That's what we thought. No curves. We thought it was.
Nah,
thought
we
it was
assumed
right.
they was white because they had
I thought it
briefcases
was
and
a
stuff.
person and a child.
I
Because
don't
they had
know.
briefcases.
Yeah.
They going to work.
Yeah. 'Cause they look the way they going to work. We didn't think that was us anyway.
Mm-hmm. They ain't had no
Still got no
booty.
booty.
They didn't have no booty. You're right about that one right there. So I don't know. Shout out to Bird for the check-in. Pearl was the first neighborhood.
That's hilarious.
What do you say? First was the first neighborhood watch. You're right about that.
She's something else.
Oh man, he said Mickey is Sherman Hemsley.
Wow.
Don't be talking about. What up, Uncle Craig? On the check-in.
I couldn't think of his name.
One
Yo.
more. We got.
That's funny though.
Who else did we have on this one right here?
But I haven't even seen that sign.
Another one. This is kind of off, but I just want since I already put it up there. When you're on a date and the server says 2 days in a row, huh? We're gonna leave that right there.
Ooh.
Don't double dip. We're gonna get to the
Why
other
would the
things.
server do that?
He ain't
It's
getting
the
no
hate.
tip
It's the
after
hate.
that.
The server's
It's the
a
hate.
hater.
It's the
He
hate.
ain't getting no tip.
It's the hate. You know, I got some people wondering why I came home. Didn't want to look like him right here.
Whoa.
T, would you let me look like him right here? T, would you still date me? Would I be cute like Mickey? Not you. Date me, but I'm just saying. Would
Well, you always wear hats, so you would never know if you're him.
that's how my head was about to go with that one right there.
Mm.
You know, before we get into our main topics, I want to give a shout out to you know, we always give shout outs to our barbers and stylists, and I want to give a shout out to a special barber. I want to give a shout out to Reggie Sumner. We talk about Reggie. I talked about him a few times, my main man, and we talk about Black history. And I'm mad I don't have my phone to write it down. I want to give a shout out to the whole Sumner family, from Mr. Sumner, Reggie's father, I want to give a shout out to his uncle Bob Sumner. If y'all know Bob Sumner, he's definitely a friend of the show. The Def Comedy Jam, and one of the biggest recruiters when it comes to black comedy is Bob Sumner. I want to give a shout out to his brother Andre Sumner. He has the sneaker All-Star sneakers in Charlotte and in Linden. And first and foremost, last but not least, I want to give a shout out to their grandfather. Their grandfather was a barber who started being a barber in the early 1950s in Linden, New Jersey. And he passed his legacy on to his son, to his grandson, and being an entrepreneur. And by him doing that, his legacy lives on. They throw a softball game every summer. Now in Roselle, you could catch BKS1. Norm was there. Norm got a hit. You was there. And I want to salute y'all. I want to salute our black barbers. There's so many people that came through your shop, and the fact that you employ people all the time. Just want to salute the Sumner family. Want to get that out there. Shout out to y'all. That's some black history that might not be out there in them books. So, it's other things that truth that hasn't been out there. We've been watching Malcolm X.
Oof. Who killed Malcolm X?
Who killed Malcolm X?
Crazy.
And the OC should have been here for this one.
Man, I'm mad I ain't holler at OC
crazy.
for that one right there. It's crazy because sometimes the truth can be right in front of our face, and sometimes the truth can be omitted. And did y'all watch that?
Yes, you know I did. I don't
I
have.
wouldn't even say that.
all
Truth
I
is,
do
it's
is
not
watch
that truth was
movies.
omitted. Omitted means like that they don't want you to. I don't know. They don't want you to know, but it's
I didn't think
overlooked.
It's overlooked.
It's crazy because I wasn't gonna watch it because I thought I pretty much have heard all about it.
Me too, B. Me too. And
But it dug a little bit deeper than I really probably even wanted to know.
you know, I'm in Newark all the time. Shout out to all my peoples in Newark. I always thought,
Wow.
and this is what ignorance, when we think we know the truth. I thought Farrakhan killed him. I thought Elijah Muhammad killed him. That's what I thought. I thought the hit came straight from them, and that's why he died. And little to my knowledge, that a man who pulled the trigger was from Newark, New Jersey, and was out free. He was so free. He was in what's my man Cory Booker's commercial at the time, and well, not during that time, but later on in life. How did y'all feel when y'all learned the truth about what happened? I suggest anybody who was a Malcolm X fan or inspired by him or want to know something about some truth. How did y'all feel when y'all saw that? B&D.
Well, for one, I'll just start with the Newark aspect of it. I looked at Newark differently because I said, okay, for the town that I know from being from New Jersey, that big Malcolm X more than any other town I've ever been in. I've been in a lot of towns all across the country and outside of the country, and I've never seen nobody represent Malcolm X like Newark. And now it seems like
big Muslim community.
now it seems like guilty conscience to me. That's one. Second of all,
That's a good way to put it.
Second of all, now I'm confirmed. It confirmed to me that everybody had something to do with Malcolm X's death. I didn't know who.
Everybody as in
I just feel like that was
the Muslim and the government. Yes,
Keep
I'm not
saying
going.
Farrakhan, so
No,
what
because
was
Farrakhan wasn't
Farrakhan's
that
role at
big
that
enough.
time? Yeah, I
He
was gonna
wasn't
say,
big
what was he
enough
doing
at the
that
time. No,
Was
he
known
was-
at that
he
time?
wasn't big enough.
He
at
wasn't
the time.
as known.
He
He got put on.
Right,
He's way
this
younger,
is
so-
something that Farrakhan said. He said that
They've all had something to say about it that
Yeah.
influenced people to may have done it.
okay. So he.
So I'm gonna say
partly-
everybody. That's what I'm saying. All the Muslims and the government had something to do with it. All of them. It wasn't just
All right, we all agree.
Farrakhan.
No
It wasn't-
doubt.
We all
what-
agree.
It wasn't just Elijah Muhammad. It was all the Muslims and the government
How you feeling?
conspired together to do it, and that's what threw me. I always thought it was either or, but now I know it's both.
I just felt like that was always the case. Like even in the movie with Spike Lee, it always depicted it that way to me.
I mean, like I said, it just confirmed it for me. That part,
And that was the biggest
me.
thing, just the confirmation
right.
of truth.
I always thought, like he said, I always thought
the
that.
confirmation
It
of
just
truth.
confirmed it for me, but the way I looked at Newark, it's like, oh, y'all, I see now why y'all got him plastered everywhere.
It's just crazy the fact that he's around and nothing happened to him. And what got me when I'm watching Who Killed Malcolm X, when the guy who was trying to get all the facts about what was going on, he said he went to another Muslim. He said leave that alone.
Yes.
He said leave it alone because
More than one
the
of them.
government
More than one of them
has his back.
Right.
You don't want those problems. You don't want those problems. And when he finally had an opportunity to get to that person, he's dead.
Let me tell you what's crazy. The main thing that blew me, out of everything of the series that blew my mind, this is the only thing that totally blew my mind. The FBI actually went to Malcolm X, tried to get him to snitch on his own people. They had the nerve to go to Malcolm X to make him an informant. That blew my mind, that they thought he was that far gone, that he would actually be an informant. Even though he had problems with Elijah Muhammad and the nation, they went to him like, okay, you just a regular dude. You that mad? We gonna see. And he wasn't that mad. And he recorded.
Mind you, Malcolm
I think
did
it's more
12 years.
shocking that they offered him protection
Protection for what?
because they probably knew what was going on. They
But
offered
why
him
would they want
protection
to do what though?
to protect him
Because
from
they
not
thought he
getting
wanted
killed.
him to snitch.
They
That's
did.
why. That's
even
why they
after,
offered him
even after
protection.
he refused that, they offered him protection though.
That
so
was
they
bull
knew
protection.
something that was going on.
It was bull protection because when he died, it was only 2 cops at the scene. So that was fake
It
protection.
wasn't the cops. It was the FBI who offered him protection.
And it's funny.
It was fake protection. They wanted something for protection. They wanted something for that.
It's funny. They said the most watched person, technology wise, at that time was Elijah Muhammad.
Right.
And we talk about protection, and we're talking about snitching. And one thing that happened that blew me, that really blew me. You know, we don't know why people are around you sometimes, what their hidden intentions are. And one of Malcolm X, his soldier or his main protection was an informant the whole time.
That wasn't terribly shocking, but it was shocking.
It
But
was an
terribly
informant by the cops. He was an
Yeah.
undercover the whole time.
He was a Donnie Brasco.
Donnie
We
Brasco.
didn't see that though. We seen that story though.
We seen it, but we didn't know this. I didn't know this was going on, and it messed me up.
History repeats itself.
No, it does.
That story.
It definitely
Like I
does.
said, it wasn't totally shocking to me, but it was like, okay, another one got in.
I was like, man.
But that's the common. How many books and movies we didn't seen with the top dog, best boy is not really his boy.
Yo,
seen it.
No, I'm gonna tell you, it's super scary when that happens. You know, I'm watching. I start looking at myself, and I'm like, you know, I've been through a lot, like everybody, and you start questioning. After you start questioning yourself and how you carry yourself, because the first thing you need to reflect on yourself and see what energy you're putting out here in this earth. You start looking at the people around you and what kind of intentions they have and who's going to be the one to cross you. One thing about you guys on this show, I was thinking about you on Saturday, and why do I trust y'all so much?
Good question.
Why do I trust y'all so much? And it's because of your character and actions over the years.
Yeah.
I don't remember not knowing D. I don't. T, I met T since, when I meet you, T?
No, probably like 12 or something.
When he's like 12 something. B, we worked with each other a million times, and neither one of us has ever crossed each other.
Yeah.
And I don't feel we have to.
We've told each other a lot.
And we told each other a
secrets.
lot of secrets.
Yeah.
A lot of secrets.
Yeah.
It's not the typical show, but I'm
Right.
like, I had to talk to y'all about
No
it.
doubt.
I had to talk to y'all about it.
Yeah.
And it's been times when people, they get jealous of each other for money.
Right.
They get jealous of each other for women. And for whatever else, they want to be this person. I remember times with Barry, I'm doing stuff on BET, and I'm like, yo, B, and I'm not getting no money. We're working together.
Right.
I'm like, yo, B, I got to cut out. Can you hold it down for me?
Peace, bro.
Jay, I got you because you're trying to get yours. Let's get it. You know how many people who could have been in that position and went back to the boss with the little crumbs that we're making and say, he wasn't here, he was da-da-da-da-da. You never did that. Never did that.
No
And people will sell you out for certain things like that. It's sad. it's sad when stuff like y'all know me better than a lot of people, more than most, and vice versa. But y'all don't have that in y'all. That's why I trust y'all so much. You know, and you don't run across people like that all the time. You know, damn, Malcolm's his closest people for years turned on him.
But no. You know what though? I gotta say that the dude never turned on him though. The dude never really. You know what?
Which dude?
The
informant?
Nah, because at the end of the day, they was mad at the informant because they felt like he got too close to Malcolm. Malcolm was turning them. That's what they said. You know, he was the one that gave Malcolm mouth to mouth. They said, "Why did you do that?"
Did he do it?
Yes, it was him.
I saw the picture.
He
I
was
saw
the
the
one
picture.
trying to resuscitate him, and they said, "Why did you try?" He said, what was I supposed to do? Like, let him just die?" They said, "Yeah, you not his friend." And he sat there like, wow, like he really got caught up. I mean, you can't, like, you seen Belly. How you get close to that person, somebody like that, without falling in love with him eventually? So, I mean, I know Belly stole it, but I'm just saying.
No doubt.
This thing, it was basically the guy that was closer to Malcolm, he actually befriended him. And, you know, it was that deep cover thing. You've seen deep cover, right?
Now we definitely have.
You've seen deep cover?
In too deep.
Right. So, I mean, it gets to a point where you become what you fight against. If you realize, wait, maybe it's not that bad. You understand why a person is doing what they're doing, you start to conform.
Man,
it was crazy.
It's crazy. Anything you want to touch on that with D? With the how did it make you feel when you was watching that?
I mean, some new information. It didn't make me really feel any other type of way. I mean, I've always felt like both had a hand in it, so I wasn't really shocked. I take it in as new information, and ain't nothing gonna change. I mean, I think it was a two-handed feat thing where one hand had to wash the other. They worked together to do it, and they just gave us some more information to look at. I think the people of Newark try to protect their history,
right,
you know, as the mosque, you know, maybe the first mosque in New Jersey.
It was.
So you want to save some face if something like that is coming
country.
out of there. You
yeah,
know,
that's why I look at it like, wow.
So I mean, you got to look at them and be like, damn, bro, like.
That's the first school in America that named after Malcolm X came out of Newark.
Southside.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I just look at them now like, y'all just doing that because y'all conscience is messing
And
with
the crazy part about that you brought that up, the guy who pulled the shotgun went to Southside.
It wasn't Southside, yeah, but yeah.
It wasn't Malcolm X.
It was Southside.
But he went to Southside.
Right, man. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sure there was a schism in there.
A what?
Schism.
Yeah, but that was the thing that blew my mind, though. But that was the thing that blew my mind the most. Like, wow. Like, Newark, like, I've always looked at Newark like, y'all this crazy Malcolm X. Now I know why. Y'all crazy Malcolm X.
Nah,
and a lot of people
I still got crazy love for everybody in Newark.
I do. I do, but
it's just when I heard that history, I'm like, wow.
It's crazy because they, like you said, they don't want to hear about it. When you bring it up, they don't want to talk about it.
You know, one thing I admire about y'all always have like a vast knowledge in history, and I'm like, how the hell y'all remember all this stuff? All three of y'all can go biblical, y'all can go from movies, y'all can go this and that, and I'm like, wow. All I know is hip hop and Carolina basketball for the most part. It's just facts off top. I can't remember all this history stuff.
Next week we'll do quadratic equations.
I think the next show gonna come out Who Killed Martin Luther King.
But now we're gonna talk about Dr. King.
That's next.
Right here. You know, shout out
That's
to
gonna
Dr.
be the
King.
next
Shout out to Dr. King with his waves.
He didn't die on that balcony.
He didn't. And one thing I didn't know, shout out to my man Jamal Mills. He always tells me, well, he told me one time, he said, I'm gonna be a leader like Malcolm and Martin, but the difference from me to them, I'm not gonna die broke. And Malcolm died broke. He didn't own his house. He didn't own a lot of things to take care of his family after the fact. And Martin, when he said that, it never registered about Martin to me. So I'm watching this YouTube clip the other day, and they were saying the last year of Martin Luther King, of his life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he didn't, when he made a statement about the war, I think it was the Vietnam War, and whatever president at that time, y'all know all them presidents, when it was going on, he said he was against the war. He said, how are we going to have a war and we're going to supply money for that when we have black people in poverty right now? Once he did that, he got shut out of everything. He wasn't allowed to be in the church. He wasn't making money giving speeches like he was throughout the country. He died bankrupt. A lot of people don't know that. Not we, but America turned their backs on Dr. King.
Right.
They turned their back so much where even the black media stopped rocking with Dr. King.
Right.
It's terrible when I hear something like that, but we don't talk about that part right there.
When we were talking about before Martin Luther King, was a lot of parts they don't talk about. They don't talk about how he became real political, and they didn't divulge into that part because they just talk about I am the dream.
I had a dream.
Right. After the dream speech, he disappears off the face of the earth, right?
Yeah.
Until he gets shot.
Until he gets shot.
Right. But they don't talk about how the political he was part of the Republican Party and they started to switch the ideologies about how that was going down and things like that.
A lot of black people was Republicans back in the
Right.
They were.
Right.
They were.
So,
my grandfather was a Republican.
Which is what Kanye West was saying.
Exactly.
By the way.
And
Which is why
thank
niggas
you,
is-
T. I
Right.
wanted you to get that. I wanted you to go there.
So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of
Hold that. I want you to go
Martin
there,
Luther
T.
King was Martin Luther King, Black Panthers, Malcolm X. They didn't get championed by all black people.
They did.
Nope.
And they had trouble accepting his truth. And T, I'm happy you brought that up because I thought about you and I thought about Kanye. And Kanye might not be the popular opinion right now, but it could be some truth with what Kanye is saying. How you feel about that, T?
It is true. I mean, and I don't understand. He's saying, why do you have blind allegiance to one party? And I agree. Like, why the hell would you have blind allegiance to one party? Like, you need to figure out all the facts
I
regardless.
mean, I understand why, because they've painted that party as the oppressors.
No doubt.
So people that don't know or don't even bother to look into it is going to automatically ride with the masses.
Oh, that's the problem.
And we were born into democracy, being a Democrat. You're born into that because your parents are. You just think, oh, my parents Democrats, that must be the way to go.
That's stupidity.
But it's stupidity when you're a
doubt.
child. It's not stupidity. It's basically being
it's
raised a certain
ignorance.
way.
That's the way
When you
before
get
I
older,
got
then
into that
it's
politics,
like
man.
you're a Christian until you get to the side. You don't want to be a Christian.
No doubt.
anymore.
Go ahead, D.
But when
Talk
he
about-
used to run for the stuff, when you remember when we used to hand out the
No
flyers
doubt.
at Plainfield, when he
Right.
would
As-
run
as
for
a-
those
as a
city
young
councils
kid.
and stuff,
Yeah.
he was running as a Republican.
Right.
I never knew that.
So
That's what I'm saying. You're raised
it was
into a
different.
race.
Yeah,
and
it
you're
was
raised into
different,
things.
but
I mean, you can make your own depending when you get older,
Hey,
but yeah.
Did you ever hear your father speak about backlash? Because this was like
no, I don't
early-
remember.
Yeah, I feel you. We just happy to get pizza at the
Word,
time.
we was getting
Like
pizza.
what we used to do, like when you groom your kids, right, to get into politics. Dion and I with his father, they used to have like little pamphlets, like vote for me type stuff, and we used to put them in the doors.
Right.
We used to
Howard
put them in the
Mitchell.
door.
I was
We-
down with Howard Mitchell.
We used to do
Yeah.
that stuff. So
Mhm.
we're learning about politics as a kid, but we really don't get it. And what was preached to us is how TJ is saying, Democrat good, Republican bad. And it's just nothing but a party who's supporting you. We don't know all the facts, but it's just
You don't care to know when you're a little kid.
we no.
but we're not just
but
trying to know where we was getting pizza
how do you? With that being said, TJ, do you feel like we need to teach more the youth about it?
Hold on. Yes, we do, but I'll take that back. I knew when I was a kid, for a fact, and nobody taught me that shit. Now, I understand that you got to go do your own research and things, but I knew. I remember when I became of age to vote, and me and you had some different conversations, and I stood my ground on that shit.
No doubt,
I was like, no, I'm not fucking with this shit.
no doubt.
So did you vote for what you thought, or
Nope,
just didn't vote at all?
I ain't do it at all.
See,
I stood on that because I like you not going, and not you, but like you're not going to belittle me or shun me because I have more information about something, so I know how I feel about it. Just because you think it's the right thing to do, I don't do stuff just because people say you got to go do it. Fuck that. That's just me though.
No doubt. And with that being said, at the same time, I would still educate you about it.
You did, and so my perspective changed about local voting.
No doubt. And that's what I mean, because do you feel it needs to be more education on what the power of the vote to our youth is?
the problem is
Yes.
that it trickles up. Your local political scene is gonna trickle up to the state level.
I don't see how you can
and it's gonna go up
if you
from
don't
there,
believe
so
in
that's
vote.
why everything matters.
If you don't believe your vote matters, that means it don't matter on any level. In my opinion, if that's how you feel.
Know
if
what?
you feel like your vote don't matter on the presidential level, it's not going to matter on local neither.
The thing is, it's not taught. It's not like.
I didn't say that, by the way.
No, he didn't say
I'm
that.
not saying
Yeah.
you said that. I'm just
But
saying
some people
that,
feel like
Right.
how you feel, B.
Right.
Some people look at like, okay, the president, I ain't vote. It's a setup,
Why
so I'm
vote
not
for
going to do it.
Why vote for your mayor too?
But if they're not, it's a big difference. But if you're not taught what the difference is, it's all about the education. We have to teach our youth.
I'm just saying,
what matters.
if you
I
don't
mean,
believe
like, you
votes
keep-
matter, you saying the voting is corrupted, that means it's corrupted on every single level.
Yeah, but
it ain't
you-
going to be
but you
corrupted
can
on
affect-
one level.
Yeah, but you can affect your school board and who affects what happens with your children a little more directly than you can the president.
There's no doubt about that.
True.
Because you have direct contact with
True.
these people.
That's
And that's my point. I don't want the power of the vote to just go away when people think, oh, well, Trump did it. Our vote doesn't matter. And vote means a lot more than just your president.
People that was around for the Al Gore,
Al Gore, yeah, that was it.
that hurts
That
like
did.
me.
That did.
I'm one of the people that was around to vote for that, and we saw they decided to do what they wanted to do.
No doubt.
So I mean,
No
like
doubt.
you said, it's a double-edged sword.
It definitely is. We talking about like the freedom fighters rarely make money. Shout out to April on the check-in. Republicans used to have a different initiative. Yes, they did.
Absolutely.
They definitely did
But
at
I
one
want to
point.
call them freedom fighters. They're ministers, like in their own regard. And even if you go back to the Bible, though, they didn't get paid. They didn't have regular jobs usually. You got the people. That's what tithing is really for. You tithe so the minister or the pastor or whoever was preaching could eat, so he could take care of his family. That's what you gave your 10% for. These niggas out here now, they greedy, but and they misusing that. But that's what it was for. So that's why those prophets and I ain't gonna call them prophets, but those ministers was broke and stuff like that. They didn't have no steady income.
I mean, ask the average person, what does it mean to be part of the republic? They might know what part of the democracy is, but they don't even know what the republic means.
When we got people trying to spread their truth and they're doing it without money. I got one of my favorite MCs to the left of me, and he's always it's True Lies, and that name alone it sounds political.
It's not just a movie.
It's not just a movie. True Lies. And one of your quotes with the song Celebrate that you have, he says, don't be so quick to shoot me down. And king mind state that your boys in. When you say you got a king mind state, and that song right there, when you created, what was going on in your mind?
That's like 7 years ago.
It was 7 years ago, but it
It's all types of
it
shit
still
going on.
resonates right now.
What was the lyrics again? I don't remember.
You talking and the hook is talking about freedom and liberation.
Just being mentally free, being educated and being able to know who you really are. Because people don't want to accept who they are. Sometimes they don't want to process that type of information. It's too far fetched. And then in a society in the era that we're in, that's kind of joked upon. You get called woke and you get called hotep, and those are supposed to be empowering terms, but instead they're demeaning terms now because
That's
people
crazy.
because people want to be joke. Now, granted, I mean some niggas be wilding, and maybe at one point I was probably one of them too. And I mean you get better, with wisdom and just learning how to do things. You figure out a better way to convey it, but people just absolutely shoot down any possibility of certain things because they can't fathom anything outside of what they were programmed to accept.
No doubt.
But for me in that song, I'm just telling. I want people to just build themselves up. I want people to realize, how history has affected us and. Like what I said, I'm sure you wouldn't agree. Don't be so quick to shoot me down.
Mm-hmm.
My people been afflicted, merely victims of the town, which has also Ben Affleck, The Town, the movie. So, but we've been afflicted, merely victims of the town. And I said, you love those that don't love you back. You love those who gave you AIDS and crack. You love those who you civilized. gave you AIDS and civil well, I forgot the rest of the words. It's been like so long. But you love these people that did all this foul, grimy stuff to you, and you praise them, and you want to be like them. And my thing is like, why the fuck would you want to be like them?
I feel you.
I've been asking that question for years.
I feel you.
As far as magicians go, I have been like, why do we? Why do these? We got all of these big time musicians that's black. Why are we still sweating the Grammys?
Oh, you said
Oh, no,
musician.
I'm with you.
Musician.
I'm with you.
You damn serious?
No,
you said
musician.
I thought you said
musicians, bro.
magician.
You said
Musician.
I'm about to say, hold on, David Blaine. I like the
Nah.
way he held his breath.
Musicians.
Well, that's because we don't
Musicians, not magicians.
we don't
Musicians.
give the same credence to our own award shows.
That's my point. I don't get it.
No, I'm gonna tell you
Rihanna
what
just
that.
did it though.
I thought about that, right?
That's because they don't come on those main
Shout
broadcast networks.
shout out to some
Them poor people
two of the
watch
greats that
BET
did it.
Awards.
Like, we want to be accepted by them all the
So
time.
so shout out to two of the
Al.
greats, right? I got brother Al. Look at their hair.
Look at
That's some
Al.
luxurious
I'm not a
hair
fan
right
of
there.
Al.
We got Al.
Not either, but
We got Mike.
he done been
We
through
got
some
James
changes.
Brown. We got Janet. Penny had the hat on. You know, shout out to Al again.
I'm a fan.
That boy.
I'm a
But-
fan of Al. I understand Al now.
So when it comes to this is why I think we should give the respect to certain musicians and athletes, is because the amount of work that they put in, the amount of discipline that they put in, that others couldn't. We should not praise them more than others, like they're above God, that they're gods. But I think we do need to respect the hard work that they put in and the fact that they have to perform on a stage over and over and over again. I think that's the reason why we respect and honor this man right here. Because through all the trials and tribulation, we talking about Kobe Bryant, for 20 years, he was a professional.
Took a lot of hate, boy.
Took a lot of hate, made mistakes that people seen all over the world.
Yes.
And he still performed at the highest level with dignity, in my opinion. So I think that's the reason why we respect certain athletes, certain entertainers. When we talk about, when I'm going back to a James Brown, when we're talking about a Michael Jackson, the hard work and sacrifice that they put in that others couldn't do, but they are human.
He reinvented himself
And-
in a way that I was.
He
It made me
matured.
laugh.
He matured.
It made me laugh because I was a Kobe hater.
Mhm.
After he retired and seeing the things that he was doing, I actually started to become a fan, and I started actually looking back at some of his old games and like, wow, man,
I was watching
Mama,
that,
there go
like-
that man.
Like, no, I always knew he was a baller, but I
That
didn't
mentality.
yeah, it was like,
He
okay,
put it out there.
I see it now. It was like, but nah, I didn't like him for
That's
all
why
the
that
wrong
tribute
reasons.
today, that
I
special
felt-
today was really dope.
But
Yeah,
I-
that special was dope. I felt this way already because I've already spoken on this and just like how passionate he was. But to hear Michael Jordan, like the person he looks up to, the person that's the GOAT, Michael Jordan up there crying, talking about how passionate Kobe Bryant was about that. And you can't fake that. You can't fake when you're passionate about something and when you're dedicated to something and when you love it. And you just saw that with Kobe. Like, whether you walking off the court, whether you playing with broken fingers, like you just gave it all. And that just can't be duplicated. It can't be replicated.
You know what it is? I look at history, and history, it's crazy because sometimes we look at people and we bash them, and then history loves them, and that's been going on for centuries. And Kobe is now an example of how people didn't like him, and then now history is going to look at him as a hero. Michael Jordan the same way. He wasn't a liked guy until basically almost the end of his career. Nobody was talking about Michael Jordan being the GOAT until the end of his career. People were still talking about Magic and Kareem and other people. They wasn't. It was a struggle to say nah. A lot of people was saying nah, it was Magic. It was Magic. It's Magic. And then at the end they said, okay, it's Jordan. LeBron's gonna be the same way.
Oh,
Watch.
absolutely. It's happening with LeBron now.
Watch. He's gonna be the same. People hate him now, but when he retires, they're gonna love him.
I got a question to get off, and I feel y'all on that. The way that everybody is programmed right now, and you guys are parents over here. When we had Aaron Morton on the other day, he was talking about when we get older, not using our imagination. And when we
man.
don't use our imagination, we don't dream more. Shout out to Aaron. He definitely oh man, I got that Morton mentality.
Life on
that was
ABC.
raw.
Yeah, he definitely was. What was it called? For Life.
Life.
For Life on ABC. Make sure y'all watch him. That was a powerful interview. If y'all didn't see it, make sure y'all go back and watch it. I'm gonna repost it. He was talking about when we get older, we stop dreaming, stop believing, stop shooting for our goals, and it's probably gonna happen with these kids at one point.
No, we don't. It's not even when we get older.
No, well, when we just stop.
We program them to stop doing that.
We program them, and that's not cool. Y'all have kids. I'm gonna start with you, T. With your children, with their imaginations. How do you feel when they say, "Well, mommy, I want to do this, and I want to be this"? Do you? And you look at them like, boy, I don't know about that, or do you encourage it? How?
Well, Cameron always wanted to be a WWE wrestler.
WWE.
And I would always tell him no. Like, I'm like, no. Like, that's not going to feed you. That's not going to make any money, whatever. So I didn't, like, I just let him for a little while. I just let him, I'm like, you know what? Forget it. You want to be a WWE wrestler? Go ahead. And I just prayed that would that would change. Because he has so many other talents.
How old is he?
He's 13 now.
But that's
He's
a
14
that's a
June.
real profession.
Yeah, that's great, but that's not reliable. And I want him to go to college.
That's what
I
Hulk
want him-
Hogan's
But to
mom
be
said.
honest, but that's what we
He's a
talking about, though.
multi-millionaire.
And that's what we're talking.
So I let him roll with it. I just was like, at first I was like, no, and then he just kept saying it, and I was like, you know what, whatever. If you want to be WWE wrestler, and I was just like, God, please don't let him be a WWE wrestler. But now he wants to be an architect. He draws. He's good at, like, a really good drawer. He's been in, like, competitions. They posted his stuff in banks and stuff, and he wants to be an architect, whatever. But that was just like him as a child, and that's what he wanted to be. Now Cairo wants to be a doctor. Like that, that's since like he was 2. I want to be a doctor. I mean, he knows the human. He's 4. He knows the human. He can sit and touch and show you anatomy. If we go swimming and you're breathing heavy, he'll touch your body and tell you that's your lungs working extra hard.
No
right
doubt.
Now. So he's a little more, he doesn't, I mean, he has an imagination. He says off the wall stuff, but he since he was 2, he nonstop, I want to be a doctor. So,
No doubt.
And I didn't have to pray on that one. So it was great.
No
And he can take care of his brother when he started
No
wrestling.
doubt.
Right.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Yo, can I add to something real quick?
Go ahead.
I just want to say I watched, and I always felt this
Thanks,
way,
Sid.
but apologies for taking the stage for a second.
Sure.
I watched Fences the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and immediately it made me think of like that type of conversation. And I didn't even know we were going to talk about this today. I watched Fences with Denzel the other day, and how his son Corey wanted to be a baseball player, or no, football player. I'm sorry. And how he was telling him, "Nah, you got to go get your job back at the A&P, and maybe you can go, maybe you can go and be a manager or a supervisor, or you could just go do this." Like he had really small ambitions for his son because he failed at doing that. So he felt like it wasn't attainable for his son because he failed at it, and I didn't like it, and it reminded me of A Pursuit of Happiness. That conversation when Will is talking to his son and he told him he can't do something. And then after that, he was like, you know what? Never let nobody tell you that you can't do something. Because you stealing his joy, you stealing his imagination right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even know it. And we've been robbed. A lot of kids, as adults, we've been robbed of our joy and imagination and our dreams because somebody told us that we can't do it. That's why the ones that fought enough to be like, you know what? This is what I'm going to do. That's dope. When you see somebody that's like, nah, I'm going to do this, and this is what I'm going to be. And they confident in it. A lot of times we project ourselves onto them because we're not confident in what we could do.
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about
No.
you.
But
I
nah,
know you're
it's
not,
real.
But it's a difference between saying you can't do it and just saying, no, this is not. Like, he can't do it. Of course he could. I'm sure he could make it in the WWE. Is it something realistic as a life goal?
I understand that as a mother and a parent.
And this is me as a single mother, you don't want to see. I sacrifice to get my kids where they are and to do things by myself and not have to make sure like my kids are going to go to college
Right.
and it's paid for. They don't have to. My son, his college,
I think
because I sacrifice.
circumstances have something to do with what we think our kids can achieve. If your son was 6'5", 6'6", 200 something pounds, your idea of him being a WWE wrestler would have changed a little bit.
My son is 6 foot and he's 13.
So then you should believe he has an opportunity to become that.
It's not about the belief of an opportunity. It's about
she wants sustainability.
I would want him
What
to
you
be
want
more.
for
No doubt.
I would want
You
him
saying
to be
No
more,
doubt.
but what you saying is
it's
some of the
not like-
highest paid people in the world is wrestlers.
Right, and some of the highest paid people break their legs and everything else, and
True,
they have
they
nothing to
And
fall
some,
back on.
and not all
unless
doctors
they
have their own professions,
entertainment.
and they don't
and
not
that's
professions.
fine.
I
But
get
when
what
you
you're
have
saying.
a degree,
I hear
if
what
he
you're
went
saying.
to the WWE and he
I
got
get-
his degree,
Mhm.
fine, no problem.
I
I
get
need that
you.
degree.
I got you.
Because if something happens, you can't go wrong with it.
I get what
I
you're saying.
totally
She
got
trying to do him like
I feel
Tariq.
like-
Nah,
Yo, you
I
get
feel
your
like-
degree,
I
you
totally
can
got
do
this
whatever
shit.
the
No,
you
it's
want.
no,
I
it's
feel
just
like I feel like you got to
You know?
teach your kids survival. Like,
No doubt. And I think T is doing that,
Yeah.
teaching the kids
No.
survival.
My
'Cause
thing is my thing is that I understand parent because I'm a parent. I understand. Parent.
and I was going to get to
Right.
both of y'all before we end out. We got in out
But
soon.
my thing is
but
this, my thing
because
is
you
this.
got a few,
I always give. It's always it's a A and a B for me.
and you got guys and
Yeah,
girls.
to me it's an A and a B for me. It's okay. You want to do that? Fine. I have a security blanket for you though. Do what you do. Try that. But I think you should do this too, just in case. That's always been me. Like my son wants to do this. I know my son say, "Oh, Dad, I want to be a professional basketball player, football player." Of course, every young kid that has some talent, he could get there.
Mhm.
But I say, "What's up? How about let's take these drum lessons, just in case."
Yeah.
So that's a talent that nobody can take away from you. You might not make it as a professional athlete, but once you can play them drums, make a little bread somewhere. College ain't guaranteed because you can go to college and get degrees, and degrees ain't what they used to be. I know this because I got degrees. So it's like, okay, I understand trade. Some people want their kids to learn a trade
Yeah.
because they say if all else fails, you have a skill. I just always feel like let the kid explore what they want to do, but as a parent, we should have a safety net in place.
Yeah.
That's my parenting. That's me.
Thanks, B. And D, I want to hit you with that one.
What, like what my kids talk about they want to
your
be?
kid?
Well, one wants to be a zookeeper.
And as far as in encouraging them,
one wants
and-
to be a zookeeper. He can come in here and give us a whole synopsis of every animal in the animal kingdom. One said he wants to be a chef right now. My daughter's like, I'm too young to think about that. I just want to do me for now. So I was like, you know what? You're right. So I don't stress them about it just yet. As long as they got something that they know that they want to like lead to in the future, I'm fine with that.
Mhm.
I'm not with like, obviously I'm not pushing them down or anything like that, but I do encourage. I'm like, all right, well, you want to be a chef? All right, come on, let's go in the kitchen. What we making? What you want to make?
no doubt.
You want to be a zookeeper? What kind of zoo you gonna have? Where you want it to be? What's the animals gonna be? Like, you know, I talk to them about certain stuff. Like, what's your roles? Like, so I just try to break it down in the most simplistic form as I can for them because they're 9 and 11.
No doubt.
I didn't know what the hell I wanted to be at 9 or 11 or 15. So, you know, it comes with its territory. I just let them be young and use their imagination.
True.
Which so much people take from their kids because you don't have to have an imagination to say, oh, I want to go in the NFL or the NBA. You got to have a work ethic. You got to have the right opportunities, and you got to bust your ass. But just have imagination at 9 or 11 and say, I want to be a zookeeper. Keep that up because
Your kid coming at you with some crazy dreams like, oh, I want to be the first, you know, like she said, WWE. I understand that's like a comedian. Those are like magician. Those are professions that parents is like, come
musician or magician.
Nah,
on. I mean, this time is magician.
Okay.
But I'm
Magician. People looking at you like, come on, really? You gonna make money flipping cards?
I'm gonna
Some
tell
of them
you.
do.
I met
and you
TJ.
can.
I met TJ when he was 12. We about to close off, and in the year that I met him, and TJ is like family. We had a talent show at the camp, and he's rapping DMX. He's rapping DMX, and I saw at that time and through the years you wanted to be an MC. Somebody could have stopped you. Now we're however many years after, you're still pursuing what you wanted to be and what you loved at that time at 12 years old.
When you love something, you love it. It could be for leisure. It don't matter.
But some people stop. You did. We're gonna talk about more of that when we get you on that other side right there. I told you we want to have an interview with T. But I just your imagination didn't stop, your creativity didn't stop, and you actually expanded through the years.
I just got one question.
Go ahead.
Not even a question. Just something to think about. You know how fucking miserable adults are? You go to work every day for somebody else. You
Doing something
do something you don't like
do.
doing. You come back home. You go to sleep. You eat. You barely not have enough time to do anything that you want to do, and then you get up and go do it again. That's fucking insanity. And it makes you miserable. And the nerve of us to go shit on some kids
Right.
when we miserable. That's freedom right there.
We're gonna end it on that note right there. That's why we have this right here. And we are adults. Shout out to all my barbers. Shout out to all my stylists. Shout out to my brothers right here. Continuously every week, pushing this culture, pursuing this dream. And shout out to my sister over there. Can I put the camera on?
No.
Shout out to T as well. And shout out to Soup on the other side. We are Beards and Baldheads. See y'all next Monday.
No.
See, crazy. That's the truth.